And there we have it. So, almost the same map, like, okay, 50% the same matchup. French and English against Ayyubids and Juicy's Legacy. So,
Juicy.
OG, like the most OG civs that you can think of, against two of the first variant civilizations. So old
Yes.
against new in a sense. The map is Relic River, so it's not Enlightened Horizon that we talked about a little bit. Um, what do you think about the? I mean, we talked a lot about the other draft and all that, and now we have a different game going. Um, what do you think about those matchups? Do you think there's a clear favorite on Relic River? I mean, with French, for example, but against Juicy's Legacy, potentially finding some good spawns with the meditation gardens. Ayyubids probably can safely do a fast castle. Barry's usually kind of close to your base. Um,
So for Relic River, I think, yeah, resources are kind of close of to the base, but not close enough. So
mhm.
they all, especially in 1v1, as I said, I don't have any experience about 2v2 spawns, but they always raid able outside of TC range. I've never had a spawn where berries are under TC range
Yeah.
or the wood lines or stuff like this. So according to this, French is very favorite, I would say. But on the other hand, we have Ayyubids. And I mean, what is the best counter civ or debuff civ? It's to French, so something like this. It's Ayyubids and Abbasids because of the camels, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if French is happy in this matchup at all because of the debuff mechanics by the Ayyubids. And Juji is kind of wild when it comes to castle timings and units they can pump once they have resource access, like the berries. And we have to think about the if someone goes for water opening, and
Hmm.
Chushi is a strong water opening map civilization, right? So
Yeah.
interesting thing.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And so we're in game now. Let's take a very brief look at the players' Blid, starting on the left side, on the northern left side, in blue, playing the French, together with XLAV playing the English, opening with a double farm. Now moving over to gold. On the other side, we have Malý Libi playing the Juicy's Legacy in red, followed by Araken playing the Ayyubids, going on berries but distributing the villagers, so that could indicate the growth wing potentially, or it's just something that he does to keep that option available, and maybe even bait his opponent into thinking that he's going for the growth wing if the opponent sees that. Um, but yeah, definitely opening like this with the berries. And now starting with the Halls of Wisdom, I mean, yeah, clear choice here. We do have a dock opened by Juicy's Legacy, and Exla saw that. I don't. Do you know what he tried to do with the villagers here? I'm not sure if he tried to prevent
Uh,
that.
yeah, it could be because he definitely saw the dock, the opening, but maybe he was a little bit too late to snipe the villager already. Uh, because the villager, it looks like already built the dock and went
Mm,
back to the TC in safetyness.
yeah.
So the short bow snipe is not possible anymore. Maybe if it would be a different civilization, it would work because of the building
Hmm.
speed.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, in this case, I don't think so. Also, what is supporting this idea? There were 5 villagers pulled, and 5 villagers two-shot villager because
Yeah.
of 5 damage each. So if it's less or more, I would say this supports the idea. He tried to
Mm.
snipe the villager.
Yeah, he definitely tried that, but unfortunately for him, wasn't able to do that. Villager got away safely, and now we have a couple of fishing boats already on the field here. So a little bit of an eco advantage that Juicy's Legacy already has. And we see the two first A-jobs coming up, School of Cavalry and Council Hall. So School of Cavalry, not really a surprise, obviously. I mean, on this map there are trade posts, but like not super great for trade. So I would have been super surprised if we'd seen the Chamber of Commerce. So School of Cavalry, really no surprise. Council Hall, on the other hand, I mean, not a surprise. I don't wanna, you know, hint at that being a surprise, but definitely indicating for some early aggression rather than the open where you go for the Abbey of Kings into a 2TC or something similar.
Yeah. Can we make a short break
I
of
was
the
gonna
game?
say
Because it's
it's
kind of
a little
laggy.
bit buggy here, right? Can I? We'll just okay. We'll break. We pause like that. By the way, when
Just 5 seconds or something like this. I think that should be enough. Yeah, according to the openings, so I'm quite not sure what's the better choice here. I mean, the Council Hall provides early pressure. So but also the Council Hall in 2v2, I think in this situation they have to do pressure. So it's not a thing like, yeah, let's go for the Council Hall and let's see how it works. So I think, or I would expect they have to do something with it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
because of the distance and because of the later age up by Shuji, the longbows might have an opportunity to snipe all those or to do some damage to, not to snipe, but to delay or to harass, to stop the fishing for a while.
Yeah.
What's kind of good, because in this scenario, the echo advantage the Juji player here has is not hitting in that much. I mean, sooner or later, he would go for archership, I would expect, and the archers won't do anything against this, so they have to retreat. But it looks like he doesn't care about this. He wants to hit immediately the gold, but towers for the Jushi player are already in preparation on both sides. All the knights are coming in. The one nice stop of the charge by the scout, but one villager will die here. Second one maybe as well. Can't hit into the tower. The second tower is ready. 5 villagers find place, but -3 villagers that early on, quite big on this level. Even though he has fishing boats, but they are done anytime. So if the food is empty, it's shoreline fish. So this will be empty anytime. It's not a regained resource. So villager damage in this situation hurts a lot. And all those longbows which try to pressure the gold are now hitting the fishing ships. They have to take cover in the dock, and an arrow ship is coming out soon.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Blid also on the gold here for Ayyubids, killing another 2 villagers here. So a good aggression here put out by Blid and XLAV, and yeah, I mean, with the archer with the longbows, you can't really do anything against the fishing boats. You don't deal enough damage underneath the dock, and now you have the archer ship here, which puts a complete stop to that aggression. So you can't really deny that unless you have a ram on the field. It is going to be a little bit tricky for XLAV to put his longbows around here now because of the archer ship. So could be a little bit more difficult to put some reinforcements down on the field. But definitely some good aggression here already. I don't think he found another villager kill, but with the longbows you can put a lot of aggression on the gold, even though there's towers. And so, yeah, Malý, Libi and Araken being pressured heavily by 2 very aggressive civilizations. At the same time, look at, yeah, okay, we just seen Ayyubids clicking up, or selecting rather, and it's gonna be the dervishes. So logistics coming up, 3 dervishes with some very good heal abilities, and I don't know, like if that works like if they can hold it for another 5 to 10 minutes, I would say Ayyubids will be in a very, very strong position. Also, by the way, Meditation Gardens picking up 2 stones, all the berries, and a lot of wood. That's some very, very nice income that you get here. So Meditation Gardens on a very good spot. A lot of stone, which is good for the enforcements here, for the towers. 2, 3 more villager kills actually on this.
Sorry.
No worries.
Big push on the south map while we were talking about this. Not only Chushi gets pushed off the gold, also Chushi lost an IO by a longbow snipe. And this is huge damage. Even though Ayyubids will go into castle with the dervish and might catch some relics, the damage done to the teammate, so Araken has to carry a lot now.
Yeah, and actually it's interesting that Juicy's legacy did reach Castle Age even sooner than Ayyubids did, because they were rushing up the Shaolin Monastery. So we're gonna see some Shaolin monks here on the field fairly soon. Not too many, because there's not really a gold income. Oh, I mean, okay, on the north side there is gold income for Juicy's legacy, but limited gold income for sure. So it's gonna be interesting to see how many of the Shaolin monks we're actually gonna see on the field. And those longbows, they are so annoying. So very well played by XLAV and Blid here, but this is basically the latter bane what you're experiencing here. French, English, just beating the crap out of you.
Yes, absolutely. And we see a kind of army split by XLAV. His longbow groups, which were already on the other side in front of the red base, stood there hitting the gold. Meanwhile, the reinforcement dropped the ram, kills now the dog, kills all the fishing ship, destroyed the archer ship. So the stop or the block of the reinforcement direction to the red base, heading to the red base from the council hall, is not longer blocked by this dog. So the full feudal aggression by English can arrive. Not mention that he could also go a little bit the longer way, the way Blid's knights are moving. First relic is picked up by Juji, carried home, but I mean, the situation for Juji is, so he lost his dog. Berries were eaten, or kind of eaten, by Araken. Araken dropped off or moved back from the berries next to the meditation garden. Maybe because of the aggression, maybe because he wants to leave those berries for Chushi, because Chushi lost a huge part of his potential food income for the next minutes, when his first berry patch is running empty or gets fully eaten. So rough situation, even though both civilizations, Araken and Libi, Ayyubids and Chuji, are already in castle.
Yeah, and also a very good thing here for XLAV. He is sitting here with the scout just hitting away. That is super annoying, and it takes away the notification that you would get otherwise, like if you're getting attacked somewhere else. But that also decreases the income that the meditation garden is providing, and so this is actually doing a lot more damage than it looks like. Stable getting destroyed here by the rams, so Juicy's legacy losing the ability, like at least half of the abilities to produce the lancers that they want to put out now. And we've seen how strong they are when they were fighting against the Royal Knights earlier on, but it's still only 2 lancers against like 8 or so, and yeah, so that's why both players realize, even though they went castle and they were holding for a while, they were losing too much in terms of eco, and that was not something that they would be able to recover from anytime soon. If we're looking at the villager count, they're way behind, just losing a couple villages here and there by the very good knight raids by Blid. Military through the roof here, and at some point it doesn't matter that it's just feudal age. If it's so many longbows shooting at you, you will die, basically.
Yes, and Here's the other thing. What's kind of dangerous and difficult, especially in 2v2. I mean, fast castles against feudal aggression or feudal all-ins. Not, I wouldn't say feudal all-in, but feudal aggression. And French and English is known as potential feudal aggression, especially French. It's in 1v1 it's kind of difficult because you have to defend very well. In 2v2 it's more difficult, I would say, because if you are able to hold against one player, you have to hold two armies. And even though the other one can hit castle by himself without any pressure, it doesn't help if you be in castle and you have to fight two feudal armies, especially once they have some units which counter your units, like if he goes for the answer spears or whatever, French knights against men-at-arms, something like this. So this is very, very dangerous, and we saw in this game what happens if you go the danger way.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like it did make me think whether it would have been better to have only one of the players commit to castle and the other one would at least put out a feudal age army. Um, so Shusi's legacy can easily go for Shuganu, which are very devastating in early game. Not as much against English, granted, but that might have been an option. But yeah, regardless, that was the first one, and Blid and XLAV taking that very decisively with the OG French English comp. Um, so that was the first one. It's a best of three, so they do have the possibility to clap back from that. If we're switching that over here. That is the draft that they were using, so English and French is out of the picture, Juicy's legacy and Ayyubids as well. So let's take a quick look. What's the next one? Don't know. Okay, that's the current draft. I do know what they're playing. I don't know what map they're playing though. Let's see. They do have the draft. No, that's not it.
We have Rus, Juji, Knights Templar, Ayyubids, Abbasid, and Ottoman. Abbasid is not a very often seen civilization since the last meta in the high elo tournament games. But in 2v2 I would say very valid because of their archers, and mostly gonna prefer one archer civ and a knight civ, something like this.
Yeah.
So not very surprising, I would say, in this 2v2. But what's about the map draft? So I'm...
Oh, okay. Yeah, the other options that they had available was Light and Horizon and Dry Arabia, and they're going to play on Dry Arabia. No, sorry, on Light and Horizon now. Um, okay. Wow. Okay, that's a very interesting matchup, I would say. You're in my group, so we can actually hit the join button, observe button right away.
Yeah, sure.
So it is gonna be. Let's see. I'll switch it over here
Wow.
real quick, so we can all witness it firsthand. So Chinese and Japanese. So the most Eastern civs against Knights Templar and the Rus. So if you want to play it that way, it's a double Knight civ. Against
Luckily, the
some
roots. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah, it's some
Yeah.
more or less
Go ahead.
infantry. I mean, Japanese can definitely be played heavily on infantry. They do have some good cavalry options, but they can also be mainly infantry. And Chinese also some good infantry options for sure. So could be a little bit like aggression against Turtley. And this time it would be switched. So the roles could flip. Um, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I see like Rus in 2v2 season 10. So Pro Scout's not as strong anymore. So I don't think that China and Rus will compete as heavily again about or for the deer. Um, I don't know.
On this map,
Hmm.
I see somehow it's worth it to go for Pro Scout because food is very limited on the map.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you have berries and the deer pack again in your base next to your base. But the second one and also the boar, so the second deer and also the boar, mostly in 2v2 spawns at the north of the map. So you have to run a long way to go there.
Mm.
And once you get this Spyros, this deer also, this food in your base, you will gain a big advantage. I mean, sure, it's not like you get 6 deer packs because you played Tri-Rabia or something like this. But you have to think about it this way: the enemy needs to go out of the out of the base to get food, and you don't. This is on this map, I would say, a huge advantage situation. I mean, now we see that's quite a wild spawn. One berry patch for red is missing, I think. It's a little bit awkward, the spawn overall. But food is definitely a big thing here. But do you want to check Discord maybe? Because there's a question in the Warchief Club.
Ooh, there was a lot. Okay. I mean, if you want, you can go ahead, but we also have other admins that might be able to
Okay.
take care of that for now. I do want to point out, so we as I said, like the spawns can be a little bit wild on that map, but overall in 2v2 I think very fun. And Blid is opening with Dark Age Barracks going into Dark Age Samurai, so that could, yeah, I mean that could be very interesting to see. Gold is a little bit outside of the base, also Ruse. I mean, I guess you could try to burn down the hunting cabins. That would be a lot of eco damage. And Knights Templar also opening with a barracks close to the merchant camp, so potentially trying to capture that as quickly as possible without having your scout there for a minute. Actually, that's what the samurai is doing. Like, is that okay? Like, maybe I'm just, outing myself as a complete, like, this is, like, so obvious. Why didn't you think about that? Is this normal that you build a Dark Age barracks and you go for the merchant camp right away? Because I usually
Yes.
capture that with the scout, to be honest. Like, at some point,
No.
like, you know?
No. Definitely. It's you in EGC. You saw it. It's kind of meta in 1v1 to always go dark edge pressure on this map, and the normal procedure for the most games. There's one exception: Beastie versus B. B did something different. You go for the camp for the resource gaining camp, and then you go straight for the wolf pit to get the 150 gold without gathering any gold at all. And because of those two moves, you have enough gold to age up into feudal.
Wow.
So the investment into Dark Age is not that huge, like on a normal map of Tri-Arabia. We saw B versus Beastie. Once B started it quite different. He kept his camp and then moved forward straight to the opponent's camp. Did not care about the wolf gold. Destroyed the house and the barracks, because normally you build a house and a barracks next to the point of interest, which gains resources to capture. Meanwhile, the villager is next to it. So and this is what I said is quite exciting on this map, especially because of the point of interest. In 2v2 you have 4 point of interest, and once your team has all 4, I mean, you gain 60 resources per minute, wood, food, and gold, if you have all 4 point of interest, and this is huge for your team.
Yeah, that definitely is very, very big. I need to pause for just a second so that the game catch up a little bit.
Because you mentioned the scout thing, in 2v2 it might be different, scout might be worth it, but in 1v1 you need the food, so you are forced to use your scout to find the sheep, because if you don't find sheep, you don't have food, and if you run out of food, you have to go on the map, and then people gonna raid your feud points, stuff like this. So scout in 1v1, not in 2v2, maybe. So Rus could be a good choice here because of the scout opening. However, they didn't. You normally see Rex, definitely, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense, and the thing is why I was surprised by that is like the people I play against usually. Maybe I should grind the ladder a bit more. They don't even they don't even capture those points. I'm always surprised when I see them like, dude, get that. Like, it is super nice. It gets a lot of resources very quickly, and as you mentioned, I mean, yeah, you're investing a little bit into the barracks and into the units, but more or less you get the same out of the capture, like the captured point of interest, the merchant camp anyway, and so it definitely is worth it. It's like in a sense you could like make the same argument about a dog, you know, it's like, oh, you have to invest into that. Yes, but it does give resources to you, so it's like you delay your feudal age maybe by a couple seconds, but it will definitely spiral ahead once you have a couple of couple of fishing boats. So in this case, if you have the merchant camp for a couple minutes, that definitely is a big advantage. And Blid capturing the eastern merchant camp here as well. So basically, for for both players, there's like one merchant camp on either side, and they lost the top one. And did get the other one, so it's like a fun little like trade-off basically, and um, I think that's probably one of the reasons why I like that map so much, is because you have this kind of trading off. Like you get that merchant camp, but he gets the other one, and so you trade back and forth. Um, a nice Templar now opening with the archers. So spearmen followed by archers. Against Japanese, I'm not sure if that's the most, like the strongest comp that you can go for.
Do you mean the archer thing? So sure, Japanese has men-at-arms, the samurai kind of men-at-arms, but if you compare the costs, 80 resources for the archers and 130 resources for the men-at-arms. Also, you are gold addicted with the samurais to get some men-at-arms on the field, and if you kite pretty well. Even also Blid is delayed in feudal, so his Dark Age samurais are very vulnerable against the archer. You can go for a huge archer count, and because of the kiting, you kind of manage to deal with the samurais early on, and it's very untypical on this elo. I would say that Japanese player is going aggressive on samurai and feudal, so mostly something different. And because of this, archer are quite good, and especially it's Rus and Templars. I mean, Rus is, they can both go archers and both could go knights, right? Because of the wood economy, and both have access to knights in feudal. So yeah, why not? I would say the decision is, I see the point, because the Rus Knights might be stronger than the Knights Templar Knights, and you wanna have, especially if you fight like this early on, you wanna have one range mass and one Knight mass, so valid point, I think so. And we see a age up already by Japanese at 8 minutes, close to finish, 8:20, something like this.
Yeah, very fast age up here. Japanese going into fast castle, which is not a huge surprise. By the way, nicely done here by Japanese, by the Chinese rather, going with the pro scouts to the Japanese town center, helping out his teammate a little bit. In the meantime, there was a little bit of a trouble going on here with the Barbican, which is obviously a very good spot here in the front of the base, close to the merchant camp. But XLAV was losing a couple villagers there. One of them got even trapped between between a rock and a hard place here, between the samurai and the opponent's spearman. And so, yeah, it kind of feels like a little bit of a switch, as I said earlier. This time, the Mall Club team doing the heavy. Wait, is it the Mall Club? I don't remember. Anyway, but Malý Libi doing a lot of feudal aggression here. Meanwhile, Blid going for the fast castle, and XLAV definitely looking to go towards it fairly soon. This is like 2/3 on the way, walling up the northern side of his base now, but that's gonna be a little bit too late here.
Yeah. And so Barbican, cool, but the merge camp is not kept. So the resources are ticking in for red and orange, so no camp for teal and blue. And just to realize what it worth it, 15 wood, food and gold per camp. So once you have all four, you gain 60 resources, food, 60 gold, 60 wood, so 180 per minute. It's worth like 4 to 5 villages, right? For the whole team, not only one player of the other team of the opponent team, for both players. So you are as team up to 10 villages ahead.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. I mean, it's kind of the same with the sacred sites. Why it's so valuable to go for them, is because you get it for the both of you, for the whole team, and not just for one. And I do find it curious that there was so much stuff going on that Blid and XLAV didn't even have the time to capture this one here. I mean, they had the Barbican here for a couple minutes now, and they have not been able to go to the merchant camp and capture that one. They are taking the top one now, and so that's at least something. And hopefully they will. Oh well, I was gonna say that. Hopefully they can get this one, but Malý Libi is heavily knocking on the front door here. 3 rams on the way. I don't know, like, do they have the numbers to contest that? I saw that Blid had a couple of mounted samurai, but I mean they're they're strong, right? They're super strong, but it's only a couple of them. Like, if you have a handful of them, you can hold that with this, and then just keep on the pressure.
I mean, it's 10 mounted samurais, so 10 mounted. Now it's 10 mounted samurais. The 10th left the stable in the moment we were talking about, and they're ridiculous strong. So because of the deflection, they are so insane strong, and the walls delaying, so buying some time. But the archer mass is respectable, and also spears are added in. There are also Rus knights, so I think even though the Japanese knights are strong because of the deflection and all the stuff, I'm not sure if this is enough. But you were mentioning the thing they couldn't, but Nest of B is on the field, so this changed everything because the backline of Malý Libi is they will die. They totally will die, and because of this, they retreating. I would say, because you don't want to fight with feudal archers against the Nest of Bees. I would say.
No, you don't.
You don't want to at all. But what I want to say, because of the capturing the point, there are 4 points of interest. Chinese is going for pro scouting. Rus is going for pro scouting. Food is limited. So not only you have to fight in a 2v2 with the armies, you have to keep an eye on the movement of enemy forces and armies, because defending is kind of easy. So raids are always possible, and if one player is going into a raid and both of your armies are out of position, the raid can do a lot of damage. So there are so many things happening, and the point of interest are coming on top. And as we said, they are huge. The income is insane big, so you want to fight about them. So a lot of things are going on in the same moment, and I think especially in team games, these kind of point of interest, they do it so kind of exciting and action packed, these team games. I love it really. We see a knight run by is coming in, so a big flank move by Araken, but wall is set up, or the blueprints are setup, only one villager building, I think he won't be fast enough. So these knights in the echo can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and I mean, the Chinese they build buildings faster, but that doesn't, as from my understanding, if I'm not completely mistaken, doesn't count for the walls. So they're still taking 8 seconds for each of those sections, and yeah, as you mentioned, knights running in and killing a lot of villagers. 3 villagers making it out alive here, but there's still an opening here. So very, very dangerous situation, and actually the situation is also that they're actually on the momentum here, and they kind of want to move it forward and don't really want to deal with the raid in the back. Blid with the mounted samurai in the wood line underneath the farms, a lot of idle villagers here for Araken. Difficult situation, very dangerous here for the Rus. Where's the army at?
Yeah, the armies are the knights. The knights tried to raid and get bait into a gate. Meanwhile, the Japanese back of the base, the back of the Japanese base, that's the correct way I want to say, is open. And here's the second thing, what's very, very difficult in 2v2 or just gets more dangerous or has a more danger potential. I mean, in a 1v1, you might handle attack of your opponent, meanwhile you are raiding because of your reinforcement and because of defender's advantage. In a 2v2, if 2 armies are in your base, you can't cover this with your reinforcement in your base. So you have to keep track and eyes on the opponent's army all the time to not get punished like that. And for a moment, it looks like they gonna punish the opponent team. I mean, villager count is terrible if we look at the team numbers, 64 to 104. Not only because of the second TC by Japanese, I'm pretty sure also because of the echo damage they did right before, and Song Dynasty by China. But overall, they trapped a couple of mounted samurais in the base. He lost a lot of them. Blid, he went down to 8. I'm pretty sure he was about 15 or something like this, maybe 20, once they started the attack. And now they get chased into a wall, so also the last samurais, mounted samurais, are kinda trapped and hunted by spears, archers, and sergeants, even though they are still feudal. I think no, doesn't look like he clicked on the tech up. No, he did not click on the unit tech up because Knights Templar are caster already. Not enough resources. However, idle time is still running. But never underestimate a Knights Templar. He has 4 pillars on the map, and as far as I realized it or watched on it, the pillars did not get interrupted at all the whole game.
Yeah, that's a lot of income that you can get with the Templars, and it's kind of difficult to shut that down. So should be. Let's see. I do need to take a quick look at the Discord for a second. We had a little bit of a raid here coming in by Araken on the northern side town center here for Japanese. So Japanese went on a second town center. Knights Templar is on a second town center. Rus is starting a second town center now as well, which does make a lot of sense because, yeah, if you're that far behind, you do kind of want to find a way to get back into the game in terms of economy. And so yeah, but I mean the damage has been done. 30 villagers. That is pretty brutal for Rus. Even though you have a little bit of passive gold income and all that, it's not as heavy as, you know, if you think about Malians or House of Lancaster passive income. Rus does need their villagers, so.
And he's still on level 2 bounty, not level 3, so he's still missing 114 bounty. I mean, he has a deer, so he the high trade house, so he will get the bounty. He jumps up to 906 already, but it's a difference of 15% gained gold by the hunting cabins and 10% of food gathering rate, and over time this will be something like a snowball maybe, or so, because I mean, yeah, sure, echo damage is echo damage. If you have less villagers, you have less villagers, but Rus is also known because of the bounty system and that they are that strong, and he does not have the last bounty level already 20 minutes in the game, and he is far behind in villagers, so it's kind of double negative points. But he's adding a third villager, so Araken realized it by himself and tries to catch up with villager count, and now Malý Libi, so his mate, has to kind of carry the game. I mean, he's on 65 villagers, so more than the Chinese guy, by the way, and the Chinese was on Song Dynasty, so he managed to. They also did kind of good damage to the Chinese, obviously.
Yeah, and I mean, what also is a good thing, or like something that we might talk about, is the fortresses. So Malý Libi has been heavily on stone, is adding one fortress after another, and each fortress is adding one more pilgrim to his set. So he's at 5 pilgrims right now, so he gets 2 from his town center, from the Templar headquarters, then 1 for each fortress that he has, up to a 10 max. And so he still has a little bit of way to go. But the fortresses, a very good, strong defensive position. Also with the trebuchet emplacement, can actually take down the wall here fairly easily, compared to most other keeps. And so the aggression that Blid and XLAV tried to put out with the sacred sites, not gonna hold for long here. Not to mention, I mean, the amount of army here is looking very healthy. So even though Araken is a little bit behind in villager numbers, the amount of knights is looking good. It's looking fine.
Definitely respectable. So, and it looks like Blid is realizing, oh shit, this is it's big too much for my mounted samurais, because he was so trying to charge into the army and now is retreating quite a bit. Maybe he wants to buy some time, only that XLAV can drop a keep next to the big gold vein where the mounted samurais are now raiding and defending, so the villagers can build up the keep very safe. But not only because of the numbers of knights by Rus, also because of the army combination by Knights Templar, and he's not only on spears, like 35 on the field, and 35 is quite a lot. Also, he's going for the special unique crossbows Knights Templar have access to once they use the right age up. And I mean, 33 base damage is quite a lot. Even though they don't do additional damage to enemies' knights, 23 damage is 23 damage.
Yeah. And the thing is, they do bonus damage. It's just against infantry units. It's not about, you know, heavy or not heavy armored. It is just infantry units. And so if you're like, let's say Blid would go for samurai and we have palace guards, like they would completely shred them. So very, very strong units for sure. These Genoese crossbowmen also have a very cool looking shield, which doesn't really do anything in terms of, you know, in their fight they're not using that, which it feels a little bit funny. But very, very strong special unique unit here. Mounted Samurai on the hunt here on the north side, trying to find the villagers here, doing a little bit of a line dance here. Fortress is firing away, but Mounted Samurai not really phased by that. A couple of Modern Samurai getting caught here by the Knights, so at least a little bit of a trade.
Yeah, but we come up to the point where I'm not sure if this is worth it. So, for me personal, and I'm not sure if the comp gamers, especially or also the pro gamers, are have figured out what's worth it and when is it worth it to trade units against something like this, villagers, 10 villagers by Knights Templar. Or pilgers, because it sometimes does not feel it helps anything, and losing units, even though you do some echo damage like this, it does not do enough, especially, or just the completely opposite situation. You do some kind of echo damage, but losing your military hurts yourself way more than the enemy is losing echo. And I mean, 6 pilgers already on the field. Malý Libi has already 2k wood in the bank. If he drops farms with all his wood villagers, he's up to 60 villagers on food, and because of those 6 pilgers who are having freeway gaining 170 gold, close to 169, 170 gold per run. That's an insane strong echo the Knights Templar settle up here. And Araken now up to 84 villagers plus 5 relics. So the team Araken Devils, so Czechoslovakia as it called, they might be back in the game, and they might be pretty strong back in the game if we track the echo situation and compare them to each other. But it's the macro is still struggling a little bit. Too heavy on wood, not so many on food, even though the wood bank is big. On the other side, Blid has 65 mils on food, so he's ready to go for it.
Yeah,
and it's already farmed.
Yeah, that is very, very strong. And not to mention that with the Japanese, you know, you have the daimyo manor. This is all getting a good, nice buff. Like it's better than regular farms. I want to say. We did lose 2 of the fortresses for the Templars. So one over here and the other one, I don't even know what the other one was. So 2 of the pilgrims are not coming out here anymore. So that is a good eco damage that Blid was or rather was XLAV. It was XLAV with the trebuchets was able to do here. And so, yes, Templars definitely feel back in the game. They are Imperial Age, by the way, which they did go for. No, that's the Genoese one. What's the? Oh, that's the Teutonic Knight ones. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so he did go for the. I forgot what the name of the upgrade is, but
oh yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, it's probably just Teutonic Order. Yeah, so we could potentially see Teutonic Knights. So that's very exciting. And at the same time, his eco should be fine with his 2 town centers and the pilgrims. Mounted Samurai in the back of the base now. That is gonna be very costly. To answer your earlier question, I'm pretty sure that the pros have figured out when it is worth it to lose army and when not. And so in this situation where you lose, like, let's say 5 mounted samurai and you kill 5 villagers, that's definitely not worth it because your opponent is on 3 town centers and so he doesn't care. But like I would say, the earlier the game is, the better or the more easier it is to lose villagers. Or lose your army in trading with villagers because you do a lot of eco damage compared to what you're getting out. But if you're just killing 5 out of 100 villagers, that doesn't really matter anymore.
Absolutely with you, but the special thing of Knights Templar Echo, it's quite different because of the pilger situation. You know, and this is what I meant before, because if you kill pilgers, you killed income for a minute, but not over time for the rest of the game. And this is quite difficult, I think, to figure out. And maybe they did, maybe not. But overall, it's a difficult situation because you only stop income for a minute, not for a longer time of period, and he has to regain it because they don't cost pop. They don't need to get paid by food or something like this. Pilgrims are tough situation for the enemy teams if this echo is already settled. However, we see the mounted samurais chasing around the backline. The field echo, the food echo is cleared, but damage is done. Now the samurais getting chased by spears and knights in the north of the map. Meanwhile, pilgrims get killed, and some survive, some catch the point. Knights Templar still on gold, or now again on gold, maybe again on gold because of the interruptions, or maybe because of the age up to get all the upgrades in, but still 18 on gold. And yeah, Red Army is waiting in front, and it looks like, I think we missed it maybe. There was built next to the Barbican, there was built a wall, and the
he wanted to go for the great wall house here, but he had to settle for the top spot here. Was trying to rebuild the Barbican, but not successful. And yeah, Malý Libi again knocking on the front door here. Araken was able to clear most of the mounted samurai threat. Ooh, because of that looks like a pathing issue here with the trebuchets.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Okay, wow, that's a lot of damage. That's nice. Let's move on.
And now we see kind of splitted fights, right? So the infantry-based army by China is fighting the infantry-based army by Knights Templar in between both bases next to the Barbican. Traps are firing, nest of bees are there firing around, and looks like Chinese army gets rid of the because of the knights, Teutonic Knights, and the mounted samurais chasing each other with the Rus Knights in the north of the map at the exposed resources. So kind of 1v1 in a 2v2.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, definitely what can happen in the 2v2. Even you don't necessarily always need to fight as a team. And Malý Libi able to get rid of most of the units here. A couple of idle villagers here on XLAV's side, lost most of the nest of bees. I mean, does still have 5 of them, but nest of bees without frontline, kind of a rough situation. And Blid is forced to come over and try to fight this, but now we have the situation Jeanne is crossbowman, you know, another 10 against melee infantry, so that's a good 63, no, sorry, 63 damage. Wait, 36. My math is off. 36. English is difficult sometimes. 36 damage against the spearmen, and most importantly against the samurai. So that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's quite a lot, sure. And it looks like the mounted samurais also get cleared completely. Not only because of the crossbows, also because there are and the Teutonic Knights, also because there are some spears added in, and they are already elite. So the Knights Templar has a tech advantage against the Japanese player here. China, because of the Great Wall Gate, is already Imperial, but that's the second part. I mean, you push into the main base, okay, fair, but the resources, especially food, are not fully set up in the main base. They're a little bit wider out of the map. So, okay, I wanna say, because of the situation, the food is separated. They might have a chance to come back, but they called it.
Yeah, I
which I
mean
was saying
it's
it.
just so much just like idle time, eco damage, villagers being killed, and the army. Like the thing is, yes, if your eco is sitting outside of the base, you can turtle for a while, and then you can maybe come back. But if your production is being camped, if you're losing your villagers, if you know, like at some point it doesn't really matter that much, and then you just know that you cannot come back from this. And yeah, if we look at the like last 2-3 minutes. Both XLAV and Blid were bleeding a lot of villages here. And Araken, even though he was like way down here, like he recovered 3 town centers just booming away. Imperial Age, yeah, pretty tough situation, and as well as with the military. You see, XLAV barely had anything. I mean, most of that probably was still the nest of bees. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the other thing, if we watch the timelines or the graphs,
Mm.
once Araken dropped huge amount of overall units, so military and villagers, mainly villagers. Wait, yeah,
Mm.
mainly villagers, not so much military. Um, Blid and Ixlaf missed their window, their opportunity to go for the kill. Maybe because of Knights Templar army combination, maybe because they fought under the TCs and whatever. But this was definitely an opportunity to go for something more, because not only Orang, so Araken, also his red mate, Malý Libi, dropped a lot. So overall, the team Blid XLAV had more units on the field than his opponent team. Sadly, they couldn't change it. Happy for us as caster, we see a third game, right? And we
Yeah.
saw kind nice comeback here by Rus and Knights Templar.
Yeah, definitely a very strong comeback. It did look grim for most of, or like not most of the game, but for a while there. Um, but they were able to claw their themselves back into the game. Um, let's take a quick look. Okay, so Axlov said that he needed to take a quick break, to go to the bathroom. So we should, let's take a quick look. We should be able to see the draft. Wait. Um, okay, so they didn't start the draft yet. So still waiting for players to get back ready. But yeah, if we're moving over to the bracket, um, currently still going. Um, I'm pretty sure that the other. So if we're looking in the quarterfinals in the second round here, Purple Haze against Lions of the Desert and Poland Mountain against Anti-Heroes. I'm pretty sure they already started. I hope they did. Otherwise, so doesn't matter.
Yeah, anti-heroes definitely started.
Oh, good. Nice. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So basically, we're at a 1v1, 1-1 right now. Meow Police against Czechoslovakia. Meanwhile, VS against the Malt Club. Um, I'm not sure what the current status is for them. Let's see.
It looks like it's a 1-1. Light Horizon is won by VES, and Dry Arab,
Mhm.
the second map, is lost by these guys.
Yep, yeah,
So
that's what I see too. So yeah, 1-1 there as well. So a little bit closer games for the first series here. Usually Warchief Club sometimes can be very decisive 2-0 in the first couple rounds, and then it gets a little bit more competitive the longer the tournament goes. But we're starting off very competitive today. So that's very nice to see, and I think that's one of the benefits of playing a team game, a 2v2. that it's not only reliant on you as one player, it's also on the team, on the synergy of the civ. The maps change slightly depending on how many players they are. So just a couple different factors that just put a nice little twist into it.
And I would say, in a way more difficult, but also in a way more easier. So the more easier part comes out of the fact that you fight with your both armies in a team, and especially in feudal, you are not so addicted to manage 3 army combinations. So focusing as one player with your archers, the spears, focusing with horsemen, the enemy's archers, try to micromanage the horsemen out of the enemy spears to get into the backline, something like this, because you focus on only one heavily on only one unit, and this is a little bit easier, I would say, from my perspective, from my experience to play AoE 4. This is the more easier part in 2v2 in team games. The more difficult part is the armies getting more huge if it comes to straight up fights. And because of multitasking might a little bit, it might start getting more chaotic pretty fast if we have Night Civ on the other side because of raids everywhere on the map. So, and if you don't care enough about tracking the enemy's army, there can stand 2 armies in front of your base just in a couple of seconds and you didn't scout them, and then you are dead. So this is the more difficult part, I would say, in 2v2 team games, but also exciting part.
Yeah. And I think we are ready to hop into the game. You are in my group. Perfect.
So what's the last map? It was Enlighten Horizon, and now it's really grew Enlighten Horizon. Now we have Tri-Rep, right? Yes.
So it is Tri-Arabia and the last remaining civilizations that the players and the teams had drafted. XLAV playing the Byzantines, one of my favorites, and Blid playing Jeanne d'Arc against Abbasid and Ottomans, played by Araken and Malý Libi. Gonna have another 2-minute delay, so they're hitting us with quite a lot of observer delay today, even though the game has started for a couple minutes now. But yeah, Tri-Arabia not heavily favoring any of those civs, I would say, but also not really a disadvantage. So yeah, one of the reasons why Tri-Arabia is so well liked, mostly in the community, is because it is providing some very balanced and fair spawns. Usually doesn't favor heavily either civilization. What do you think in terms of strategy? I mean, both the teams, they do need to win to move forward in the tournament, otherwise they're out. Byzantines can play cavalry, but also is very infantry heavy. Abbasid can boom, but they also do need to defend, especially against a very aggressive Jeanne d'Arc. Ottomans, they can do a fast castle, but they also have the military schools, which they kind of want to put out as soon as possible to get more vizier points. Like, I mean, there's different ways how you can play this individually, and then you add on all of that the aspect and the fact that it's a 2v2. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts how this might be played out?
So if I would be XLAV or Blid, I would call, bro, we have to do full baboon in feudal. Maybe not full baboon, but maybe a little bit delayed. So a level 3 cistern once Byzantine is hitting feudal, but afterwards committing into military and push, because you don't wanna give Ottoman too much time to get military schools up, maybe go into castle and get free siege, get the free siege situation, especially as the combination XLAV and Blitz playing. XLAV pretty sure he will go for infantry-based units because French, I mean, they can go infantry, sure, but because of School of Cavalry and stuff like this, they should. I expect he's going knights again, and you don't wanna go knights against Castle Ottoman once he has Janishara on the field, right?
Yeah.
And also Araken as Abbasid with the camels debuff for cavalry and next to House of Lancaster, maybe, I'm not sure, but known as one of the best, not even maybe the best boomer stiff. So you don't want to let the Abbasid guy also too much time to get into the boom, into castle farm transition, and just rallying all his production into my base. So I expect that Blid and XLAV is going for some kind of fuel aggression because of the opponent's combination. They kind of have to. Meanwhile, the other two guys, they wanna defend and try to get the advantage into the mid-late game castle transition, something like this. And this is what I would expect.
Yeah. I mean, I in my mind, Abbasid definitely is the best boom civ. Like, you know, in my mind, I don't. Yeah, House of Lancaster is a very strong contender for sure, but just because of the eco wing, and with the Fertile Crescent, I would say Abbasid very, very, very high up there. In a 2v2, it can kind of be a death sentence if you commit to that. Like, let's say you go 3 town centers, and then you have Jeanne d'Arc with, you know, a couple of Royal Knights and a bunch of archers, and then Limitani and javelin throws or whatever in your face. Like, this can be basically game ending. So I don't think that we're gonna see a 3 town center play. A culture wing is being picked, so no eco wing. This time could be fast castle in a sense, right? With the preservation of knowledge, or I mean, this also can play into economy because you get all the technology, the upgrades for free. Not for free, sorry, not for free, for cheaper. And so this can also lead into a more economy-focused gameplay. On the other, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
Go
what I
ahead.
was to say. On the other hand, we do have School of Cavalry, Grand Winery, so absolutely no surprise there. Malý did start with a military school, and is currently pushing in the deer a little bit. So not looking for some aggression here, which he could technically find it on the gold here, but yeah, it's so delayed it doesn't really matter anymore. And once Jeanne d'Arc hits level 2 and is upgraded to probably the woman at arms, then it doesn't matter anymore that you have a Dark Hate Spearman there. So doing the best that he can with the one spearman that he got out of the military school so far. And Twin Minaret Madrid is coming up, so also not really that much of, I don't know. I don't know, maybe. What do you think about that landmark, or do you have any thoughts about the situation?
Yeah, my first thought, I'm steering on Araken space because he's going up with the culture ring and is heavy on stone, so 6, 7, he might go for a second TC. And I wonder if I've seen a build like this where Abbasid is going culturing into second TC. And I can't remember it at all in any 1v1 games I saw this, so I'm excited what he's cooking here. Is he going for a 2TC into kind of fast castle afterwards, or straight into castle or something like this to get kind of a echo boom and then a fast castle transition? Because I mean, we all know as Abbasid you have to wait 145. You can't improve the tech speed, so that's interesting opening. Minaret, Twins Minaret. I mean, it gains more food, so it's good, but he has a good amount of food because he used his spears for pushing in deer, and he's not so heavy on gold. So maybe Malý Libi is going for kind of feudal play, but production is still missing. So I'm not sure. A lot of people on food, not so many on wood to get some production on line, and nobody on gold. Now the first stable is dropped, but maybe a little bit. Maybe he will find himself in a position where he cannot sustain that much he cannot spend his food like he wants to because of the production situation. And definitely I would say the Ottoman guy is going here for kind of contesting feudal. Meanwhile the Abbasid guy is trying to boom something like this. So one defender guy, one boomer guy. It looks like this.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, it is still Dark Age Spearman because the military school doesn't have any option to upgrade those guys. But yeah, again, like this is gonna be very rough once the Woman at Arms hits them with the Holy Wrath ability here. And so probably needs to go into some other option. Maybe Sipahi would be good to hunt the knights down. Sipahi very strong as well. Needs to be careful here with the village. Oof, that was so close. Should still get one of the villager kills here. So a slight advantage here for now for Jeanne d'Arc. At the same time needs getting the scout here. A nice pick off. Oh, is it? That's getting alive. Okay, it's getting away. That's a close call here for Malý Libi. So a little bit, I don't want to say shaky start in a sense. Yeah, he's adding a Sipahi now with the, no, not with the military school actually, with the stable. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and we see that Malý Libi did a transition. He's now from 5 up to 15 villagers. So he took some villagers off food on wood to trap more production, and we see blacksmiths third stable is now getting trapped. So obviously like what you do against French most likely, or a knight civ, is he's going for horseman spears, and he invested his first point to go for a meta, I guess. So that's why he I would say that's why he goes for Twins Minaret, because he's not using the first one for the sheep to get more food. He will get the food with his landmark, also the deer to sustain his production and get a meta early on. Nice play, I would say. And we see still a second TC dropped on the exposed berry patch by Araken, dropping now Rex. First dropped a range. In the range he's going for archer, so he also is going for a spear archer combination, which makes sense. Is the spear archer combination, because he wants to get some protection for his archers if he's get Call of God or something like this against the JD's knights. And he's going for the archer, especially because of the expected, maybe they scouted it, I don't know, but because of the expected Limitanai, and the XLAV is dropping a ram already with his longbow archer mass he has in front of Araken's base, and this is getting very hot very soon, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. The funny thing is, before I was looking over and trying to figure out which mercenary contract XLAV has chosen, I was like, I was thinking back to the first game where we saw French and English, and I was like, this could actually play out the same way. Like, we have a lot of Royal Knights, we have the longbow option. What is he going for? Oh right, yeah, it is the longbows, obviously. Adding some archers of his own, like like the classic, the general Biz archers, because with the oil alone, like especially in the early game, you can't really sustain the archer production. You kind of need to drop something else besides the longbows. And now is moving in with the Chirosyphons, very strong units. Needs to be careful. This is a very scary looking army. I know every time I fight against Ottomans, I kind of underestimate the Sipahi. They're super strong horsemen,
Yes.
and this could be very ugly for this little army of XLAV. I mean, there's a couple of Limitani in the mix, that's cool, but there's also archers that can snipe them out fairly easily, and um, Blid doesn't really want to commit right now with the front line too heavily into the Limitani. Chirosyphon, first one going down, the second one is pretty low health already. But at the same time, the Ottoman army also getting destroyed quite heavily. We see the first Camel Archer on the field. I don't think that's gonna live for too long. This is difficult. This is very difficult here right now.
It's not difficult. It's kind of destruction. I would say what XLAV and Blid are doing here. I mean, Blid is splitting his knights on both echo positions on the food on into the wood line. JD is hitting level 3 pretty soon, just 1 kill or 1 XP left, something like this. So the bar is very close to level up. And the village, here we have the sounds, JD now level 3, and if you are feudal, you don't want to fight level 3 JD,
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous. And I think the Ottoman guy, I mean, he took the imams now, they have an insane heal, but they're a bit late, and I think if they sandwiched the army of XLAV and Blid would be in a way more trouble situation if the Ottoman army would come from the north. Meanwhile, Araken is fighting a little bit more to the south, so in a sandwich situation, the Sipahi could get on top of the archers, and here we have the call because of, I mean, level 5 Byzantine with feudal aggression is also investing into archers, which are only wood heavy, and you have an insane wood echo as Byzantine once you have level 5. It's crazy. And yeah, as I predicted, Byzantine and JD, they try to go feudal, full baboon, to not let get Byzantine and Abbasid play their strengths, kind of castle timing, late game, mid game with Boomer, Abbasid, and full military school. Ottoman, but I like the idea Ottoman went for, to go for kind of feudal spear Sipahi to catch this feudal aggression. I think Araken's situation like Abbasid is nice, Boomer, but in a 2v2, I think if you go for feudal, your opponent goes for feudal and hits me as Abbasid player, I'm a bit too late to gain. Also, even though I can do a boom feudal transition, something like this, it always feels like it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too slow.
It is too slow, and that's mainly, I would say, because of the missing eco wing, and so it just takes you a while to get there, and then you pay the full price for the villages, and you need to invest a lot of resources in there, and just slowly, like, by the time that has paid off, Byzantines is already on 5 cisterns and is like way ahead of you in terms of army. And we've seen the fight. Like, there were so many knights, there were so many archers, a couple of Limitani just to, for good measure. And even though they were losing a lot of units, they killed so many villagers. If we're looking at the timeline for a second, like, Abbasid like booming away a little bit, but like it doesn't look as much like, but that's really, really devastating. Not to mention the idle time that has cost, and so that was a very good, very aggressive fight here. Very well done by Blid and XLAV, taking the first best of 3 here in this tournament. Moving on, and they are going to meet Oiling Boil, which is the team name for Baltoon and Sass. So it is not going to get any easier for them in the near future.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
No, they deserved that matchup. They fought for it and now they got it. So good luck with that, boys. I wish you luck.